Altatis, and we are here at KMA Fitness and Martial Arts Gym in Makati City, Metro Manila, Philippines, and we are with the Professor Stephen Kamphuis.
Kamphuis, yeah.
Kamphuis.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm very good. We had a nice day grading today, so it's great to see. Yesterday we had we graded a new black belt, and today we graded 4 new brown belts. I think it was about 6 new purple belts and 10 blue belts.
Wow.
So it's a really great. I mean, I suppose it's a great improvement in the team's belts and all that, and also especially it's a great reflection of the work that the coaches are doing.
There are around hundreds of practitioners who participated
today. Yeah, we had also a lot of people getting their first stripes. I mean, the most gratifying thing was to see students who just started jiu-jitsu. They've been only training 3 or 4 months, and they were able to attend the grading and make some progress to the next step. Because it's quite a hard martial art. To get a belt in jiu-jitsu can take almost more than 10 years. Mm-hmm. You have to have a commitment and a dedication that is beyond pretty much any other martial art. There's no other martial art that's got a tougher criteria for getting black belts. So to see people make that progress, it's a small steps. I always tell them it's small steps, but each step is one further, one step further to your goals.
As long as you keep moving.
Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, some people. I mean, I don't always say that your goal should be a black belt. I think always your goal should be just to improve. But the belts can come as you improve, So each step is a small step of progress.
With your rough estimates, sir, how many students don't move forward after?
I would say probably 50% of all the students, maybe even more. 50% of all students that start as white belts don't go to the blue belt. Yeah, that's how. It's not. I mean, there's a lot of things that, it's life gets in the way, or whatever circumstances happen, but it does take a bit of dedication. But I think people understand jiu-jitsu is not just about fighting. It's also, there's a lot of other aspects that go into it. The camaraderie. It's a very cerebral sport. You got to think a lot, But there's just so many things, benefits that you don't see just purely on the mat. I mean, there's a sort of the contact with people and
the network.
And the positive people that you meet. That they're all there pushing you along to improve and trying to inspire you to get better. And it's a very a great thing that comes from the training in jiu-jitsu. You don't get that in life. There's not like most people in life try to pull you down, but in jiu-jitsu they're trying to push you up. Especially in your team and in your training partners, because the better you get, the better they can become. So it's a sport where it really has a positive. I suppose process in its training. So it's like people learn not just how to do the martial art; they learn how to do these techniques which can relate to self-defense, and then they have all these other things that come from it as well.
Which brings me to my next question, sir. What do you think is the most common misconception?
Striking. They think jiu-jitsu has striking.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, they think jiu-jitsu is just punching and kicking, but it's a grappling martial art. There's no striking. Yeah, it's well-aimed striking. But people often also equate jiu-jitsu to UFC, but it's only one part of it's only one part of the arts. I mean, you can't be, I suppose you could say, you can't be really effective in UFC without having grappling skills, or MMA, I should say, not just UFC, MMA. You can't be really a high-level practitioner unless you've got grappling skills. But there's no striking in jiu-jitsu. So, and it's also the demographic for jiu-jitsu. It can be children. It can be. We have gyms. We have people that have mums, their kids, their dad, their father, and also adolescents as well. All training on one mat together. So, not many sports you can do that.
Right.
And the interaction between the adults and their children is really amazing. Dads can create relationships with their sons, and that they would probably not have off the mat. So that's a very great. It's one of the greatest things I see about jiu-jitsu. And there's quite a few families that train together. A lot.
A family that trains together.
Yeah, stays together.
So, what do you think is the best or the ideal age for us to start training?
I don't think there's no specific age. I mean, we don't like to start kids younger than 6. And I think 6 because they can't grasp the
Six,
concept.
too young.
Yeah, not too young. Not like, say, Taekwondo where they can start at 3, you know. But in Jiu-Jitsu, sports like that, maybe 6. But it doesn't mean that you can't start in your mid-20s, and your 30s, and your 40s. There's different intensities in training. We're not all training to be like a world champions, you know. So, you can just take up the sport because it's, like for men, sometimes the alternative is just weight training or basketball, you know. But with this sport, there's a lot of injuries in these in basketball, and weight training pretty. It's a nice activity, but it can also be quite boring, you know. So, and a lot of people that do the sport will also do weight training or conditioning as well. But as a sport, a standalone sport, jiu-jitsu is a great sport. It's very interesting, you know. And it's you connect with your body, so you're trying to be more healthy. You know, you're trying to eat well, sleep well. Try not to abuse yourself too much. Don't drink, don't smoke, like that. If you're going to be good at the sport, you've got to live healthy. So,
Is it correct to say, sir, that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that brought you here in the Philippines?
No, it's my wife that brought me here.
Your wife brought you here.
Yeah.
Okay. 2004.
2005 I really came here, but I first came here. I visited several times before that, but 2005, But my wife, she really wanted to live back in the Philippines, so I suppose I just came along with her. We had a business, and then she just wanted to do something different here. I don't know. She was probably homesick or just loved the Philippines. So that's how I ended up here.
You were here in the Philippines during the pandemic, sir?
Yeah. So, we all just tried to survive through that time. Gyms were really closed, and it was impossible to really train. So.
Because when it comes to BJJ, touching is...
Yeah, but people, it's not like it was. Of course, it's close contact, but I suppose that was one of those sports that that you had to train with someone that it's not COVID. But of course, gyms were shut, so we couldn't even get inside the gym. And there was that time period when you couldn't move between the municipalities, so we couldn't move anywhere, we couldn't travel. So we just had to do what we could do at home, train, condition. But a lot of gyms closed. It sort of created a situation where gyms became endangered species. Yeah. It was pretty tough. I'm sure a lot of businesses suffered, but gyms were like the front line of businesses that really suffered. So.
And now you're open. You just did a belt ceremony.
Yeah, we've been back. It's coming, and I think people have decided to move on. From COVID. You just got to live on. You can't hide. If you're either going to live or you don't live, do you? But I think we have accepted that it's in the community now, and just got to cope with it the best way you can. And one of those things is get fit. Build up your immunity system, which doesn't happen if you're sitting in your house, get fit, get strong, do some exercise, eat well, and take care of yourself. And I think gyms, not just martial arts gyms, all gyms have a role to play there.
And congratulations, now you're open again. Sir, you mentioned UFC earlier. I'm curious, what do you think is easier? Is it for strikers to start learning BJJ or for BJJ practitioners to start learning striking?
I think it depends on the person. And some people can adapt quickly to striking, and others can adapt the other way around. But I think it's really up to it's an individual aspect. I think you can't say one or the other. Some people just naturally inclined towards, they can just transition to another. Even if they're a great athlete in one sport, they may not be so good in the other sport, or the other way around. Say a striker might have a little bit more difficulty adapting to the ground game, whereas perhaps maybe a grappler could adapt to the striking. But it could depend. It's really up to the individual. There's I don't think it's really clear cut.
Not one rule for everyone.
Yeah, if you're a grappler and someone starts kicking you and punching you, it can be a shock if you're not used to it. So, and then maybe if you're a striker and someone gets you on the ground and you can't escape, you can't move, it's the same. It's uncomfortable. It's a difficult situation to get out of, So it's something they basically have to train for it, you know. But I would never say that one is better or one is, you know. I think sports, maybe there's more, it's easier to adapt if you came from judo or wrestling, you know, because they're similar, they're grappling, but they're more stand-up, so, and there's a ground aspect in it, so I think those sports have a better chance of adapting faster, you know. But, yeah.
Just two more questions, sir. I know you're tired.
Yeah, I'm
We just
kidding.
did.
Yeah, that was worn out because we had the national team training this morning in the gym.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, we start at 7:30. So
Wow.
yeah, so we're not, and yeah, it's great. You know, it's good to see the national team training and, you know, trying to get prepared for competitions next year. You know, we have a lot of events, SEA Games and Asian Games and World Championships, Asian Championships, IMAG. So it's really a great thing for the jiu-jitsu scene to sort of, you know, to try to do well. We just had 2 world champions in the Philippine jiu-jitsu. Two women won the worlds. That was only 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I think it was, in Dubai, you know, Abu Dhabi. You know. So yeah.
Under your tutelage.
Well, I don't claim any. I don't, you know, claim.
Sole credit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't claim the credit. I mean, I think you've got to give the credit to the athletes themselves. I mean, all the work, the sweat, blood, tears, and all that comes from them. You know, I mean, all you're trying to do here is create an environment that they're happy to train. But as far as the rewards and all the credit, it's got to go to them. They're the ones. You know, I mean, and they, you know, and I really are very. You know, it's very encouraging to see them do so well. You know, and I'm very happy for them. You know, so.
Congratulations, sir. Maybe just two more. One is, what is your message to all the members of the National Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu team of the Philippines and to everyone who got their belt promoted today?
Well, for the people that got their belt today, I mean, my main thing is, you know, keep training. You know, set yourselves achievable goals, and you know, and be happy with the small successes because it takes time and a lot of commitment to improve in the sport, you know. So you know, don't be disillusioned if things don't always work straight away. You know, just keep. You know, this is where it comes down to, you know, applying yourself and, you know, having the right attitude. You know, and I think for the national team, you know, like basically, I mean, we just got to do the best we can, you know, to represent ourselves next year. For the national team players to represent themselves and represent the Philippines. And I mean, we just got to work hard to get recognition for the team and for the players, you know, to put the work in themselves. But they do anyway. I'm fairly confident that you know, we'll do okay. We'll do very well next year. You know, if you actually ever spend time with them and you realise how nice and, you know, how committed they are to the sport, how nice they are as a group of people, you know, you really want to support them. You know, and that's really what we try to do. You know, push. You know, we have 7 in our national team. We have 7 male divisions and 7 female divisions. So it's 14 divisions. And the team is comprised of at least 28 players, you know. So we're always looking, you know, for ways of trying to help them, you know, off the mat and on the mat, you know. So.
And these are from all over the Philippines, not just Metro Manila. Right?
The majority are from Metro Manila because jiu-jitsu, the high level of jiu-jitsu is in Manila. But there's still standout players like Mark Lim lives in Davao, and there's still other players that, you know, that are in the team that are in Cagayan de Oro and other cities, you know. But you know, the majority of the hardcore, you know, top level players, you know, and the teams are all here. So we have branches. There's branches. You know, yeah, they need to really be, you know, or they're not training regularly. They have to have their own sort of routines that they train, and you know, so yeah.
Okay, last one, sir. I have more questions, but maybe we can do that in the
Yeah,
future
yeah.
with a longer time. Last one, sir. Message to those who want to train here at KMA but are hesitating or maybe scared because they've never trained.
I think that's a natural, you know, a reaction that you think you're afraid, but this is not a sport where you get hurt. I mean, people don't walk in and they have to spar or anything the first day. I mean, the whole idea is to nurture them and, you know, gently sort of build them up to the level that they feel they're comfortable with. So I think, you know, like, you know, it's not I'll be honest, it's not an easy sport. but it's also not hard. It depends on how you. It all comes down to how your personality, how you look at things. If you find it a little bit difficult and you can overcome that difficulty, it's nothing, But for some people, they just jump in and go right into it. Jump in, So I think, and we have a lot of women training, and a lot of older people training, a lot of kids training. So it's a sport for everybody, any age, So I think sometimes just try and don't be disillusioned if you think at first it's not what you thought it was going to be and a bit harder than you thought it was. Just keep trying. It's like life, isn't it? Persevere. You get knocked down, get up, and then trying to get knocked down again. So it's a bit like that. It has this sort of real life comparisons, I suppose.
That's a really nice comparison. BJJ is life.
It is. It's like life. Yeah. It's a lot like I think the things that you find in life, you have to overcome, because in jiu-jitsu you're overcoming situations all the time. It might be an uncomfortable situation, someone's got your back, someone's sitting on top of you or whatever, or you're trying to do the same to somebody else, and they have to find a way to escape. They have to find a way to get out of it. So, which we do in our life, don't we? Sometimes we're in a situation that we don't want to be in. We have to find a way of overcoming that situation. So, at least in this situation, you have a coach who's trying to help you, and the teammates that are trying to tell you what to do. So in life, sometimes there's no one telling you, or there is, but maybe you've got to find your own way. But at least with this way, you've had that. You've had a situation where you've had to pick yourself up and try again. So.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That's a lot of wisdom. Now I want to train tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.